Welcome back to Breslov campus. About the greatness of having guests at the Shabbos table, for example, but especially having proper guests. There was an incident that Rebbe Nachman was so, not just down to earth, but he's so related and took affinity towards people who are considered the leftovers, people that no one paid attention to, and he would try to help them. And this stood out, for example, that Rebbe Nachman would always take the guests home for Shabbos, specifically the guests that nobody else wanted to take, if they were physically dirty, or maybe not normal, or they stuck out too much. Rebbe Nachman would take out these guests for his Shabbos meal. Once he took a guest who literally stunk and really literally gave a very bad impression, that Rebbe Nachman's son refused to sit at the Shabbos table. And Rebbe Nachman got so angry at his son. We have a guest, even though he's not presentable, still you have to sit at the Shabbos table. And Rebbe Nachman got angry at his son that he slapped him. He gave him a patch on his face. And afterwards, he told Rebbe Nachman about what happened. And Rebbe Nachman told Rebbe Nachman like this: firstly, does a parent slap like that your children? In other words, there was no valid reason really. And Rebbe Nachman's education system, he was against really slapping, because slapping doesn't really always do the job. And even there's a Breslov expression that Rebbe Nachman once said: sometimes we give a patch, sometimes we hit a child, we smack them. And the Breslovers would say on that, always try to push off some time to another time. In other words, try your best not to use physical force, because in the most it doesn't work, especially today, where children need more love than fear. The attitude of fear and punishment and scaring doesn't work so much as it used to, and it's probably more detrimental. And what children need to see, and when they have that, they'll do everything for the parents, is love. But in any event, to get to the story, go back to the story. So Rebbe Nachman told Rebbe Nachman, first of all, does a parent hit the child like that? And number two, do you have to take the low class, unfit guests to your Shabbos table? In other words, take more refined people to the Shabbos table, not just specifically the hobo and the low person that no one wants to take him. You don't have to be the one to take that person in. He should go where he belongs, to people of that category. You should take respectable people, normal people, that you can speak words of Torah at the table, and that the family can feel comfortable. So this is a very important point when inviting guests, that most people today have a tendency that when they invite guests, they forget about their family. The one day of the week that most people have to spend with their family is at the Shabbos table. And if that one opportunity is given away to the guests, what's left for the kids? What's needed is a special balance where everybody gains. That it's a guest who will be meshatef, will be joining in the family setting, so there is still that communication and connection between the parents, especially the father, and the children at the Shabbos table, because it's normally the father who's heading and running the show at the Shabbos table, and guests that will just add to it, to add to the flavor and the spice of the family setting, where the family is coming first and the guests feel a part of it. That's what a guest is. He's just an additional part. And it's not that, we throw the family on the side and we give all the attention to the guests. The children feel that, and they feel very left out many times. And this is hinted to in what Rebbe Nachman's saying to Rav Nachman, to get more respectable guests, so your children will be part of the table and will want to be part of the table, as opposed to another extended example, like we said, where you have a guest and the father speaking nonstop only to the guest, and he forgets about his kids, and they just wander off from the table. Something very important to think about and to daven about.